Hi friends, this is the higher fully automatic washing machine top load. The problem with the machine today was that in the spin cycle it would not spin and we got an error of E2, and on checking with the manual, the E2 error states that if this lid, the top lid, is open, the spin cycle will not work, but the lid was closed. When you get such an error, you can just open and close the lid, and sometimes that corrects the error. Otherwise you will have to look further as to what the problem is. So in our case, this opening and closing of the lid did not solve this error. So I'll just show you what happened. I just switched it on and put it on the spin cycle to show you the error. As you can see, the machine is making some kind of a noise, but it's not actually spinning. I don't know if you can see the tub, but nothing is spinning. As you can see, it has given that error of E2, and you can see the lid is closed. Now if I open it and close it back, this error is not going away. This machine is using electric current, so safety is a prime issue. You have to be very careful. You need to keep the switch off or the plug unplugged from the socket when you're working with the machine. Don't touch any wires with your bare hands. Make sure you are well insulated with slippers or shoes when you work with the machine. So the first thing we need to do is we need to remove these two screws here. There is a screw here and there was a screw here as well. So these are the two screws I've already removed, and then you just need to lift this lid up and you need to pull this upwards. You just need to get this lid upwards. So you just remove it like this. We have to find out how does the control unit of the machine find out whether this top lid is open or closed. That's what we have to look into. As you can see, this is the mechanism which tells the control unit whether this top lid is open or closed. And when I switch the machine on, you will see that it has a current here. So it's 220 volts here, so be very careful with everything. Yeah, so in our case, I showed you how to open this. So this is the connector that tells the control unit whether this lid is open or closed. So this is all here. There are two wires here and there is electricity here, so be very careful. As you can see, I'll show you. Can you see this electricity here? So you have to be very careful here. I'll just switch that off. Now what you can do is you can remove the connectors with the electricity off and just pull this out. Now the thing is, when the lid is open, this is the status of the connectors. So in this position, the lid is open, but when you close it, these two will touch each other, and that allows the spin cycle to start. And this is also a safety mechanism. If in the spin cycle you open the lid, it gets disconnected and the braking mechanism of the drum kicks in and stops the tub from spinning. Now in this case, there are a few solutions. If you get that error of the lid is open and that's why it's not spinning, you can obviously open and close this lid once. Sometimes that gets rid of the error. In that case, you can assume there's a carbon between these points here, so you can clean this carbon with isopropyl alcohol. You could use nail polish removers if you have some in the house, or you could use those electric connectors cleaning sprays as well, or you could just use an ordinary knife or a screwdriver and just get rid of the carbon that you can visibly see, and that should solve your problem. Otherwise you will have to get a new one. So I'll just put this back in. So you just squeeze it in and push it back. In my case, in this machine, what happened is this wire had broken loose from this connector. So one of them has this female spade connector, that was okay, but the lower one was broken. Now as you can see, it's taped because rats had chewed up the wiring once and I had to retape everything. Now what I'll do is, basically I have a substitute female spade connector, so I will use this to fix my problem. But in an emergency, if your wires are not, if one of the wires is broken or it's not working properly, or if you're not sure whether this mechanism is okay, what you can do is you start the machine, as I'll show you. Put it on the spin cycle and start it. All you need to do is you need to complete the circuit. So you just touch this wire with this and close it, hold it in place here, and you will get the spin cycle going. So basically you're just bypassing the circuit. As you can see, it has started. So this is an emergency fix just to get your work done. So yeah, I'll just switch off the electricity. The electricity is switched off, everything is off. So what I will do now is I'll get rid of this wire. So I'll just use another wire with this, and as you can see, the sizes are different, but I'll just crimp it and then put it back in place. So when this top lid is in the closed position, you can see both these connectors are touching each other. Circuit is complete and the spinning cycle can go ahead. But as soon as I lift this lid, these connectors disengage and the spinning cycle will stop. So this is where the whole thing takes place. So if the lid is in the downward position and these connectors are not touching, then it will give you that error. So the idea is to make sure when the lid is closed, these connectors are connected. In case of an emergency, if these wires are not working, like in my case, the female connector, the spade connector, the wire had broken, I substituted it for another one. Otherwise, what you can do is you can join these two wires using an insulated equipment, and that will turn on the spin cycle for you in an emergency. Other than that, you can clean the carbon between these two metallic points with isopropyl alcohol, nail polish remover, or the electrical sprays that you can get in the market. If that doesn't solve your problem, then you will have to replace this assembly and then rewire it. So that's how you will fix this issue. The only thing left now is to put this back, the cover back. So all you have to do is you just align it and press it in. You have this washer here, you put this washer back and you put the water pipe back, and then there are these two screws that have to be taken care of here. There is a screw here and a screw on the other side. So guys, this is how you will solve this error when the machine says that top lid is open and in spite of it being closed, the spin cycle doesn't work. So this is where you will check the problem, the connectors, and if there is electricity coming to the connectors, then obviously the mechanism has to be checked, whether it is carbon or one of the wires is loose or what have you, or maybe you have to change the entire assembly. But if there is no electricity coming up to these connectors, then your control unit, there is a problem from there, and you will have to get that checked. I hope you learned something about this issue, and like I said, be very careful. It's electricity you are dealing with here, and I hope you like the video. Thank you.